day, a strange thing happened to me. Rudy Peters, born Reuben Godolphin Petrovsky in the Bronx in New York in 1923. Nothing during my life was anything unusual. Maybe, perhaps changing my name. That was after the war. I left the city to sell homes in the suburbs. I thought that out there, Rudy Peters would roll more easily off the tongue, and it did. I fell in love with a slightly Jewish girl who didn't know a bialy from a banana split. We raised 2 kids. I sold houses, cars, life insurance, timeshares in Acapulco. When I retired, we stayed close to our grandchildren. Then a year ago, Karin died, and I moved in here. I told my daughter Sandra she should check in on me every day. This morning, Sandra was in the kitchen, and I'm looking at an old photo of Corinne and me on our wedding. And for a few seconds, my eyes won't focus. Do I worry about such things? No, I'm too old to worry about such things.
Oh, it's your lunch, Pop.
I hate when she calls me that, like I'm wearing a wrinkled cardigan sweater and she's an aide in the hole. Jack.
It is not. It's perfectly good brisket.
I didn't mean to call her brisket crap.
What, Dad?
Hey, Vic.
Where do you want me to go, Pop?
Again with the pop, but worse than that. Why can't I talk like a normal person? First thing, I can say I don't know, but I can't say so that she understands what I don't know.
Speak English, Dad. Are you all right?
My beautiful daughter looks so much like her mother. But I wish I could tell her.
Say something in English, Dad. Anything.
Maybe she understands now.
Say my name. Say Sandra.
Shayna Vane. If I said beautiful girl in English, she would understand. She would have corrected me and say woman, and not just because she's 53 years old. She was born of that generation that was going to change the world. The boom of babies that reassured us after we lost so many young men in the war. I want to tell her not to cry, but I can't find the words.
Yes, hello, please send the nurse up immediately. My father can't speak. My father can't speak. I mean, he can only speak Yiddish. I don't know what's wrong. Does anything hurt?
She didn't understand I don't speak English.
Give me your wrist. Your heart's still pumping?
If it wasn't, would I be sitting here?
You don't feel feverish. Everything he says is in Yiddish.
Did he always speak Yiddish?
Well, yes, but a few words, not like this, not like a real language.
That's odd.
But this would pay money.
You should call the doctor's office.
This I don't understand. She doesn't even dial, and she's talking to my doctor. She bought me one of those little phones with buttons on it the size of a gnat's kitchens. He said if I want to make a call, I should press send. But what am I sending?
The doctor will work us in.
So you're all set.
Yes. Well, I think that we could use an interpreter. Do you know anyone in the building who speaks Yiddish?
How about that little woman with the accent?
Do I know her, Dad?
I hope she doesn't mean Horowitz. From her, help would be worse than nothing.
Never mind, we'll figure it out.
Mrs. Horowitz, that's the one.
Oh, it can't hurt to give her a pat. That means nothing will help.
say that, Mr. Peters. This is not hopeless. You're not feeling pain. You can see and hear and feel that.
That's what passes for healthcare these days? I'm getting shaded.
That means thank you.
My sweet little daughter. Smooth talker like her old man. She knows it means leave me alone.
Call me again if he begins acting strange.
Thank you.
Now she's making me think I'm strange as she scurries out of here, happy to be away. A regular, such a caring soul. Regular Florence Nightingale. What is this? Now even my thoughts sound like Henny Youngman. The inflection, the rotten jokes.
Dad, I'll go down to the card room and see if I can find Mrs. Horowitz. If she's not there, maybe someone else speaks Yiddish. You'll be okay?
You may wonder why I can't stand the fair Horowitz. She's been nothing but trouble since I first came here. When I first moved in, I was still raw from losing Corrine, yearning for my wife's touch. Seeing all these women made me feel like my nerves were on the outside of my skin. All the widows were after me, except Horowitz. I wasn't interested in any of them. I kept saying, please, my wife just died. I certainly wasn't interested in Horowitz, who taught English for 37 years. Amazing that a girl who arrived at Ellis Island, not speaking a word, she says. Every morning, for a week, I smile at her, and all she does is nods. What could be worse for an old salesman? And now she's going to be my voice? Me, who made my living by talking. She's such an expert in English, she'll probably correct everything I say.
Dad, you know Mrs. Horowitz?
Wo machst du?
Sorry.
He says he's not too bad. Do you want me to ask him something?
Well, he seems to understand English. We need you to tell us what he's saying.
So, get him to talk.
Well, all right. Did this happen out of the blue?
Who then?
He says, what else?
Does anything hurt?
Name, Gotze Duncan.
He says, no, thank God.
That's good. Let's go on down to the clinic. The doctor will see us as soon as he has the time available.
It's past it.
He thinks I'm interested in seeing him naked. After 52 years of marriage, he thinks he has something I haven't seen before.
Is that what he said?
He said it isn't proper.
I'll go get a screen, Dad.
You know, I have to tell you, I was shocked when you asked me for help.
This whole day has been a shock.
Oh, I don't mean your father's condition, although that is a surprise. But that he would ask me for help, a woman he hates.
Oh, I can't believe that. Dad likes everyone. Oh,
I just now realized he couldn't tell you.
I'm really sorry if this is awkward for you.
Well, as it turns out, I'm learning a little something.
About what it's like to be with a man who speaks so few words.
Oh, that I'm used to. Oh, my Alvin was a quiet man, a shy man, and that was good for me. I like a thoughtful man. I never was much for the smooth talkers.
Oh, so that's why you don't like my dad.
I'm starting to understand what it is that rubs me wrong about your father. It's the smiling. Always with the smiling. When you live in the camps, as I did as a girl, you don't smile unless it's a special occasion. like when someone recovers from a sickness, or the birth of a baby, or the day you're set free.
I didn't know.
I don't tell everyone, but it's still here.
This must all seem pretty silly to you.
What?
Everything we worry about these days. A little illness, a little discomfort, mixed up speech.
I love it here. I love the people. How hard they try to be happy. But in life, you have to expect a little trouble. Be grateful if it isn't a lot of trouble. That's just life.
I know that. And my father knows that too. Selling is no easy way to make a living. My father went out every day calling on people who didn't want to see him, who didn't want to buy. He heard no everywhere he went. Yet, every evening, whether he had a nickel in his pocket or $50, he came home with a smile on his face. And that's not such a bad way to be.
No, I see that now.
I am so sorry.
Why should you be sorry?
This past year has been so difficult. Since my mother died, he makes me come over every day to visit. I can't say I won't stop by for half an hour. What's a half an hour?
You should say no. Nicely, but no. You have to live your own life.
But he's all alone. I have my husband, my kids in college, my friends.
So you tell him you'll come over a couple of times a week. You'll still see him, but he will learn how to get along.
Great. They leave me, who wears a sweater in the summertime because of the air conditioning, to wear this little item. Well, they sit behind a curtain, like the women in shul when I was a kid, hidden behind the curtain so they wouldn't distract the men from their prayers. I only pray that what I have isn't serious. But it was interesting listening to Mrs. H. and Sandra talking the things that women say when they think they're alone.
How are you, Mr. Peters?
Ich bin nicht krank.
He says that he isn't sick.
What do you mean?
It's Kefauren mit dir.
He says that there is something wrong with him.
Thank you, Mrs. Peters.
Nay, nay, nay.
Oh, she's not his wife. I brought her here because she speaks Yiddish.
He doesn't speak English?
Have you ever heard of such a thing, Doctor? Of someone going to sleep and then waking up the next day speaking a language they never knew before?
Well, he must have known it at some level. Was Yiddish spoken at home when you were a boy?
A bissel.
Oh, that means a little.
Thanks. Follow this, please. You must have absorbed more than you realized. The question is, why is it coming out now? After I examine you, I'll order a few tests.
At least he talks to me like I'm in my right mind.
It's a little fast, but that's not surprising with all that's happened today. Does anything hurt?
I didn't hear that.
He didn't say anything.
Yenta.
That I heard.
This is odd. You have command of everything except your speech.
Do you think he's all right?
Well, I can only do routine checking here, but he seems fine. When did this come on?
Their lunch.
At lunch.
So you were able to speak English until then, and nothing happened. No falls, no bumping your head. Another head shake. You can get dressed now, Mr. Peters.
Can we come out now?
He'll let you know when he's ready. So, which one of you is the daughter?
I'm Sandra.
Well, please, stop at the receptionist on your way out to schedule his tests. I'll be in touch when I have the results.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Don't worry, Mr. Peters. We'll figure this out.
Easy for him to say. You don't get Horowitz repeating everything he says like a radio broadcasting static. But it's interesting that Sandra doesn't want to see me every day. Me, who can barely talk.
All set, Dad?
Yo,
Oh, that means yes. Why don't I go downstairs and see if I can find Rabbi Nadler and ask him to stop by? Why? Maybe something like this has happened before.
es fehlt der Schäler, Treif.
He says ask the rabbi a question and he'll find something wrong.
Well, we already know there's something wrong. Does that mean you don't want to see the rabbi?
I'll go see if I can find him. It couldn't hurt.
I knew we do things her way. On the other hand, it may not be so bad having someone other than Sandra to help me.
I know this is frightening, Dad, and now it's just you and me. We always had Mom to take care of us. But the doctor doesn't seem to think it's serious. I mean, he didn't put you in the hospital, so that's good. He'll figure it out soon. Meantime, you might just have to play charades.
My daughter, such a comfort. I wish I could tell her.
I miss Mom so much.
If
You too?
perhaps it's best that I can't tell her the pain I've felt. Some things are better left unsaid. Who knew?
Look, I found Rabbi Nadler.
Hello, I'm Sandra, and this is my father, Rudy Peters.
Zufrieden zu kennen.
Oh, he's saying it's very nice to meet you.
And you know Mrs. Horowitz?
Of course. Dus is mit der.
He's asking what is wrong.
You verstehen it.
He says that he doesn't know.
He can't speak English, he can only speak Yiddish.
And that only a little.
Not ihr Yiddish?
He wants to know if you speak Yiddish.
Just a few words.
This is a problem with a solution.
The man is a genius. He only has to think a second, and he already has the answer.
You know the library downstairs?
Yes, of course.
Go to the section on foreign languages. See if you can find a book on Yiddish I gave them. Then you and your father can speak to each other.
Is he Miss Sugar? The question is, the problem is that I can only speak Yiddish, and his answer is, the solution is that more people should speak Yiddish.
How will he get along while I'm looking?
This lady will help him.
Ist das alles?
He says, is that all?
Unless you have any further questions.
No, thank you, Rabbi.
Sarah Alter Cocker.
He's calling the rabbi names.
Well, you have to admit this doesn't seem like much of a solution.
Well, who are we to question the rabbi?
We're people. People who know how hard it is not to speak the same language everyone else speaks.
That's how it was for me when I first came to this country. America, they say. Streets are paved with gold. But it doesn't do you any good if you can't speak a word that anyone will understand.
For the first time, I've seen how I am where she was so many years ago. She's not so bad looking when she smiles.
Oh, my bags.
Vice Mayor, I'm under Zimmer.
Find me another room.
Aren't you the big man? What's wrong with the first room I showed you?
I'll show you another room. It's in the hotel next door.
This is a trip back in time. Where can you find a country where they only speak Yiddish?
There. That's where I'm from. A country where they only speak Yiddish.
Pain in my heart. Who would have thought it would hurt to see Horowitz cry? He have our land. They live.
Oh, Danke. He says he likes my country very much.
I'm becoming quite a Yiddish charmer. Maybe I can get used to this language, which there's so many things I can't say. Perhaps it's best I can't say that my wife is dead. All these months I've been longing for Corinne. I still miss her. But I have to put that behind me. But just thinking about it gives me the pain, the ache.
Are you hungry, Dad? Would you like a little abyssal to S?
Oh, now she's speaking my language.